this Edmonton Oilers trade, David Perron has a contract. He was thought to be part of the solution, bringing in a veteran player, a guy that could log top 6 minutes. So is this start of the start of the
rebuilding the rebuild?
Yeah.
David Perron wasn't very happy. I mean, David Perron's at the point in his career where I think he wanted to win. He saw some light at the end of the tunnel last year. He contributed. I think that a lot of Oiler fans would tell you they've been very disappointed with his level of play this year. Rob Klinkhammer is one of those guys that he's not necessarily to me, he's like Benoit Pouliot. Very similar type player, big guy.
Second time he's been traded this year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he started in Arizona. I do know that a couple of teams really coveted Klinkhammer. Jimmy Rutherford did a good job getting a guy that can really make a difference, again, as a top 6 guy. And then to get a first-round pick as well, then obviously Edmonton has rethought where they are and what they're trying to do, and now pointing, in my mind, to when the new arena is opening, as opposed to worrying about getting the playoffs right away.
Well, as you mentioned, the immediate fit, obviously, in Pittsburgh. You're right, just about injury-wise and fitting him in that way. On the other side, I mean, the valuable commodity, I don't know off the top of my head what Klinkhammer's contract is, but cap room is always huge. Cap room gives Craig MacTavish and company flexibility if they're looking to make other moves down the road. So you moved a contract, that's significant. The first-round pick will be from 20 onwards, you would think. It wouldn't certainly not going to be in the top 15, but it's an asset that way. But I think that's as much.
This is a deep draft. Everybody talks about this draft being one of the deepest. So you could possibly get a pretty good player in the 20s.
You could, and certainly it's an asset to have. But the other one is you just had to move someone to free up some cap room. It wasn't working with the group they had. So I think it's a good move for both teams that way. Different agendas.
Perron had this year and next year left on his deal at $3.8 million.
He's a good fit in Pittsburgh, and I think that with what's going on in Edmonton, it's the right move. And as I said, remember, this is a team, Edmonton, that we've always talked about over the last 3 or 4 years. They haven't had many big bodies, but Klinkhammer's another big body, and he may not be a top 3, he may not be a top 6, but he's a good role player. And at this point in a rebuild, and a kid who wants to work hard and play in the NHL. He'll be an asset to the Oilers in the short term.
Unrestricted after this year.
Well, these guys all want to play in the NHL, and the Oilers do have some cap space.
Yeah, it does point to taking $3.8 million off your books for next year for the Edmonton Oilers.
And he's not part of the future, David Perron. I mean, he's not part of the future.
Realistically,
so
you're
really,
right.
Yeah.